common home buying mistakes so many of us make. Today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 things I believe that you should not share with a real estate agent. Now, hear me on this. I'm not saying be dishonest, right? I'm just saying withhold information that could be used against you later. And in these 3 points, I will explain to you how I found that it was used against me in my buying process. And if you're interested in property investing, I'll also have a few property investing tips mentioned as I go along the way. Welcome to my channel. My name is Genevieve Stafford Jack. The first thing I believe that you should not tell a real estate agent is your maximum budget. The reason I believe you should not say that is that when I was looking for my first 2-bed, 1-bath, I was going to stay in that property. So I was looking for a property, nothing fancy. I was looking for something in an old neighborhood. Why? Because at the time in my 20s, I started realizing up here in Johannesburg, there are so many different townhouses that were popping up and they were tiny. And when I say tiny, that is all of 1.5 meters. I would spread my arms like this, and at most places, there was very little space between the tips of my fingers and the walls. And I thought, my goodness, like really am I going to stay in this small little place compared to where I'm renting? And so I decided to look in the old areas. As I was plodding through the old areas, I then started finding, I told the real estate agent 300,000. I started finding that I'm introduced to properties that are 310, 320, 330,000. And so this started irritating me because I was very aware that, I like to stick to my budget. I like to play inside these different lines that I've created for myself financially. And this was way back in my 20s. So at the end of the day, I was like, wait, why are we viewing this property that's 330,000? I don't understand. Please share with me. And of course, I was dramatic. I am dramatic. It is part of who I am. I'm like, share with me, please. Tell me why. And then the real estate agent kind of dismissed me and said, well, you know what happens? You get pre-qualified for 300,000, and when they actually put their back into it, they start realizing that you can actually get a whole lot more than 300,000. So why not play a little bit around with the numbers? And it didn't sit well with me. Needless to say, I found other real estate agents, and I eventually found the property way under 300,000, and that's when I felt like, okay, someone is listening to me, someone is hearing my cry. And I bought that particular 2-bed, 1-bath in Sophia Town for 260,000, because that's when I felt like I'm heard. Because when I walked into the property, I noticed the kitchen was like that old kitchen with like that tin cupboards that you can hear from far. I realized that the geyser was still sitting in the kitchen. There was a lot of little anomalies that I felt, you know what? I could actually use any extra money that I could get from the bank to renovate the place really nicely and make it look smart and livable, because I'm going to stay here after all for a while until I know how I can get money to buy the next property, and then I'll be able to buy the next property and move in there while I rent here. That was the big picture. And this is where point number 1 comes from. Point number 2, I find the more information you tell a real estate agent, the more they use that information against you. So during times of negotiation, right? If I had mentioned I've got an investment account where I'm going to get some money out to do renovations or something like that, later on in the negotiations, they remind me of some of those financial things I said I have access to, and they say, but money shouldn't be a problem because after all, this particular property is valued at X amount of money. Now, where I respect that it's valued at X amount of money, but in the current state that it's in, it's not to that amount of money. So that's when I started realizing, when I read about under market value, this is what they meant. Properties that are worth X amount of money, say 300,000, you could get for 250,000 because of certain anomalies in this particular property. That's why they talk about buy low and sell high. And that's when I was like, I was sharing this information with you and now you just shut your ding dong. Why? Because we're in the middle of negotiation. And that's when I realized, I need to be careful of this tongue. The third thing I believe you should not tell a real estate agent is very closely related to point number 2. Do not tell them your future plans for the property. Now, albeit we're looking for a home, I looked for a home, I got this 2-bed, 1-bath, but because I got in there and I was like, oh wow, this place is so lovely, it's so big, it's so much bigger than that other place that we saw down the road. What did I just do? I just told you everything of where I've come from. This place is so awesome because I can see in future that maybe I could, rent the place out to 2 roommates that are looking for a place and they won't trip over each other. Maybe I could, rent out this particular property to a family that's got a child or something like that. Future plans, future plans, future plans, future plans. And that's when I realized in the negotiation, boom, it floored me. And I was like, okay, here we go. And that's when I started picking up certain things that happen. And throughout my property investing journey, these are the things I also see surfacing time and time and time again. And for the property investor, or those that are interested in property investing, I want to give you one pro tip. We go to property investing education. We're there in the training. They pump you up. They get you going there. Your blood is your blood is just all sorts of excitement. And then they teach you that you're now a property investor. I don't take that away from you. However, not everybody understands the word property investor. Now, I want you to do this quick challenge for me, right? Go and share with somebody in your space that you believe is a lateral thinker. They just pop it when you just talk about ideas that are outside of the box. Go and ask that person, what do you think a property investor is? And I want you just for that next 2 minutes, zip it. Just keep quiet and listen to what they say. In my experience, I started hearing property investors are people that have got a lot of money. Property investor and the word money was synonymous. So now, what if you got into property investing and the education taught you that there's something called creative finance, that you can go in, you can find a property and somebody else can finance this property? What if property investing education taught you that? Now here you are telling the real estate agent, hey Mina, I'm a property investor. They're going to look at you as money bags. And so when it comes to time for negotiating, they're not going to take your negotiations to head. They're just going to say, oh, well, this is a cheapskate. And they said they are a property investor. Worse still, yes, it gets worse. If you say you are new to property investing and you are on the market looking for property X, Y, and Z, the fact that you said new and you said property investing, they're going to look at you as time wasters and they won't even get back to you. If there's one big lesson I learned from when I started in property investing is run away from words that have meanings beyond your comprehension. I would rather say, I'm looking to see if I can find a property where I can do it up a bit and rent it out to a family so I can collect rent. Basic. And then you say, okay, and then when you start talking about that, then you start saying, in the market, I've just done a bit of driving around and I understand that this side is about 500,000. And because this property, needs attention and things like that, I now need to bring in a builder that's going to give me a quote to see how much am I going to pay. Because I don't want to pay anything close to 500,000 now because there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. When you're having that open, free dialogue, if that person decides to give you time out, there's one thing I learned, there are so many real estate agents that are out there that are waiting to assist you. So in today's video that I spoke about common home buying mistakes, 1, don't tell them your budget. 2, do not tell them your future plans. Please do not tell them your future plans. And 3, don't give unnecessary information because, for the example that I use, those finances will eventually be used against you in negotiation. like I said in the beginning, keep it true, but keep information to yourself. And if you are one of those people that say, actually, I am interested in buying and renting out, I'm interested in getting started in property investment, I would like to invite you to go down into the description below. There's a 3-hour free training on my website. So as you go into the description, you'll be able to see the link. You get into the link and you'll be able to view the training straight away without necessarily having to register. But if you register, it's all good, no problem at all. Or alternatively, up here in the playlist, click on this playlist that I will put up here. There's so much content around getting started in property investing that I know you will value. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you over in the playlist or down below in the training on my website.